All right, welcome back, scholars. I hope you were able to find all the materials you will need to be successful for today's lesson. So the first thing we're going to do is a quick review of last week's lesson. Last week, Mr. Kimmett taught you all about halves, thirds, and fourths. Hey, did you guys know that you are already working on fractions? That is so amazing. You are just super duper smart scholars. So go ahead and take a look at my screen. Here I already drew 3 rectangles. 1, 2, 3. And I went ahead and partition, which just means to cut or divide. I went ahead and partitioned each one of these rectangles into halves. So let's take a look at this first one. In the middle, or on this part rather, I'm going to write the fraction 1/2. Okay, don't laugh at me. It's tough to write on a computer. All right, so there's 1/2, which means that this side of the rectangle or the whole is also 1/2. Now, one thing I want you to make sure you always remember, when working with fractions, each part has to be equal. Hey, I like to think of it as maybe I'm sharing a candy bar with my friend, and my friend doesn't give me an equal piece of that candy bar. I'm going to be a little salty because they gave me a tiny piece while they have a big piece. So, to keep it fair, we want to make sure every part is always equal. Every part is always, you should have said equal. So, for halves, we would break a candy bar or this rectangle, any whole, into 2 equal parts. One part, 2 parts, and we call that fraction 1/2. Then you also checked out thirds this week. So let's take a look at those. It is the exact same concept. Here I have one whole and another whole. I went ahead and partitioned these wholes into 3 equal parts. We call those parts 1/3. And it takes 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 to make one whole. All right, and then finally, last week you guys discussed fourths. I hope that this is starting to click for you guys because it is the same thing. We have 3 rectangles here or 3 holes, and I went ahead rather and partitioned each one of these rectangles into 4 equal parts. So the fraction for each part is 1. What do you think? Oh, I bet you guessed it right. 1/4. All right, scholars. So now you can go ahead and review these anchor charts and try the quick 3-question vocabulary part at the bottom before we move on to today's lesson. See you soon.